Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me again. So today I thought we would take advantage of using some junk, in inverted commas, or those things that come for free in the way of packaging and papers and things that come through our door or come with other things, and see what we can come up with. So the first thing I've had an idea about is this little window here. Now this is just packaging from a set of Christmas tags. It was very much like this one here with the window, except obviously the window is round, and all I did was chop off the top. And that just left me with a pocket to work with. I then put it through an embossing folder, ran it through my Gemini, got this really lovely texture on it. I did the same with a tag that I already had in my stash, just a white tag. I cut it down to size so that it would fit in there, and I used the same embossing folder on that as well. Then I have this lovely angel. Now she is from a freebie on my Ko-fi site. She's on a page that comes with these images here, lots of different stamps and things. So that is still available. You can access that on Ko-fi. I had her left over, so other than the ink that I used to print that page out, it's free, and it's free for you to use. So I'm going to pop her on there like that. She fits perfectly. Her wings fit perfectly in between this hole here. And when I pop her in, she is the perfect size, and her little head shows in the window if I can get her in. There you go. And her wings just pop out a little bit. Now, because this is already folded into a pocket, I was going to find it difficult to put a window in there. So what the idea I had was, I got a piece of acetate. Again, this came from some form of packaging. There's been so much packaging coming through. I mean, this is the ideal time of year for it, isn't it? With Christmas coming up and things. So I just cut a piece to size, and I've scored it along here. I'm going to pop it over the top like this and glue it on the back. I might need to re-pierce the hole. And then just cut these sides down. And what that essentially does is puts the window on the tag rather than the window here. So I get that same effect, and it also will protect the angel. So she's in like that, and we've got putting her in and out. We've got that acetate covering her up. It gives the illusion of that being a window, but I can still lift that out, and then I can still have that tactile nature here on the back of the pocket. So that is my plan. Just for your reference, I used pumice stone to ink around her, and I backed her on some scrap cardboard, just thin cardboard, because I had only printed her on copy paper. And so both of these were inked in pumice stone. I need to apologise again, I'm congested, I still have a cold. My throat is now sore, it hurts me to swallow. My mouth is sore, it hurts me to talk. So I've got my hot drink next to me, and hopefully I can get through it. If the video switches to kind of just like music and it being sped up, it's because my voice is gone. Well, let's get this together and I will do my best. Now, I was thinking the best way to attach this acetate is with some double-sided tape popped onto there like that, which I know I will be able to see through it, but that I can stick a piece of paper over the top then to hide it, rather than trying to mess with glue, which gets a little bit untidy. I've got this thin tape from Sizzix, and I'm going to put some here on this flap. If I put some paper there, you might be able to see better what I'm doing. I will give that a good burnish. Get that nice and stuck. I'm just going to hold it in place. Take these off. So that's attached the acetate there at the front. If we just snip here to tidy that up. I have a scrap from A Christmas Carol here, which may be nice to pop over like that. And we don't need it all, we just need the top bit. Just because we've got acetate here, I am going to pop a little bit of that double-sided tape on again, just to help it stick. And then I will put glue over the top as well. That's just literally where this acetate is. Tidy these ends up. So we can get her stuck down next, and all I'm going to do is pop her onto here. I'm not going to put any other embellishments on. I think she's lovely the way she is. So Pritt Stick first, and then I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue just to help get into those corners and those little debossed areas in between the embossing. Put her down. I'm going to centre her, making sure there's a wing either side. I'm going to give her a good press down again, just because of this texture, just to make sure the glue is making a good connection. And if you've got something heavy like, oh, I've got glue all over there. If you've got something heavy, just pop it on the top, just to help the glue. While that's drying, if you can see, the light's just changed, unfortunately, but there are little gold star illustrations already on the packaging. So what I'm going to do is, I've got this metallic, what's this, metallic gilding paste, metallic gilding polish. I'm going to get a little bit of this, just take some, I can take it from the lid even, I only want a really, really small amount. And I'm just going to lightly go over with my finger on those raised areas to bring out that embossing. I don't mind little bits like this. But if I've got too much, I will just give that a wipe away. Now, it doesn't say anything on the back here about how long to let it set, whether to heat set it, but I am just going to give it a quick blast with the heat tool before I move on. And I think that just looks so nice and pretty, just brings out that embossing a little bit. So let's bring our tag back in. She's done. This is all dry on the back. You could even put a snowflake or something else on the back if you wanted. We can pop her into there. And there's our first tag finished. Simple, easy. Everything was free apart from the tags, which you already had. And just going to pierce back through that hole to finish off, and pop a hole reinforcer on, and I can just use one of these. There you go. And we are finished. So as I said, you can help yourself to that sheet of images on my Ko-fi site. They are entirely free. If you would like to leave a donation to support the channel, that's always appreciated, but never necessary. And we can move on to project number 2. So project number 2 is this really handy pocket that I made from a pocket I took out of an old photograph album. These were the ones that I had bought initially for their Autumn Grunge journal, and I removed the pockets. They were 50p each, and they fit a 6x4 photo or card or postcard or whatever you want to put in there. So I will show you what I did. All it consisted of was cutting off this untidy bit here. You can see the seam here. So if we cut it along there, it's going to give us the same seam allowance on each side. Just so we make it nice and equal. I had this, so that is half of this. I had it in my stash. It came inside some packaging, so I think I must have ordered some paper. The papers were perhaps on here, and this was used as like a piece of card in the back to give it a little bit of support. So all I did was measure this to size, and the way I did that was to just put it on, make a bit of a mark, and then made sure the length would fit in as well, and I just cut that down. So we'll make sure this fits inside. I want it snug but not too tight. This is going to make the back of the pocket. You could also have it as a card that you can remove as well. I'm planning on having it as a back to offer some support, and then being able to pop something inside. So that's that fits. If something starts to come away on this side, you can either, we're going to put some washi tape around in a minute, but if that happens, you could just fix it with some washi if you're wanting to keep that on the back. It doesn't particularly bother me. I'm not really wanting a double pocket, so I'm going to just take that off like that. Okay, so you'll notice that there's a rounded corner here which was already on the pocket. What I did was round these corners as well, so that the square one didn't look odd, and I also rounded these corners, and I rounded the corners of the card on the inside with the same size rounder, just so everything kind of matched nicely. I'm going to pop this back in here so that my pocket is supported when I put the washi on. And I'm using quite a nice thick washi because this is only going to be a thin bit put there. I can allow quite a bit to fold over to the back just to give it that extra chance of not lifting. Folding that over. My bone folder to make sure that's nice and push down. I'm going to do the same on this side as well. And I'm going to do the same along the bottom. And before I push that down completely, just going to do that to give it a nice finish at the back. And I just find that easier rather than having loads of overhang here to cut off. Push that down. You're trimming any excess off. Let's take this out to do this, so I can see. So any excess off the top. Okay. And then we can round these corners. For these two bottom ones, I use this larger corner rounder. So pop that in. For the ones at the top, I think I used the 7mm. Did I? Yeah, I think I did. And exactly the same size for the cards on the inside, just to give that some continuity. And I did also on this card ink with distress ink in the pumice stone. Again, not because I'm likely to take this out and use, although that would be an option, just to give it a little bit of colour. It ties it in with the darker writing and it ties it in with this colour of the washi. This can go back inside here. And there's our pocket made. It fits just nicely in like that. Now, these are obviously undecorated. You might just want to make up a batch of these to keep in your stash. Another good thing to use for the back is any scrap paper that you might have. You know, like that thicker scrapbooking paper. I also get these quite a lot. So this is a background stamp. It's I think it's Stampers Anonymous. Yeah. They always come with really nice backing card. So something like that would be an option as well. You could use some thicker book page. So loads of things go. You can obviously then decorate it up any way you want to. You can adapt them to any theme just by how you decorate it up. I would probably take advantage of this front area here, perhaps add a cluster or something similar to that. So that is make number 2, just recycling old photograph wallets. And the third thing I have is this packaging from these wooden wrapping toppers. This is what I have used to wrap my presents this year. I haven't thought too much about this, but obviously we've got these little hinges which I'm thinking could be worked with, and I'm thinking possibly some form of flippy thing, maybe like a flippy out pocket or a flippy out flip. So we could have a base piece that would go in a piece of paper, this would flip out, and then this would flip out. So we could prepare a little flip, flap, flop type thing. So I'm going to go and have a think about this one and I will be back with you. So I have my scrap paper box and my bits and bobs box in front of me. I've also found this really nice piece of scrap paper which has got some interest on there. And this one, and this one. So I could use those. I can decorate up with some scrappy bits from here, and I've also got some scrap paper in here that I can collage with as well. So I think what I will do is have a look through, work out what it is I want to do in terms of collage. I did find also This piece, which has already got a flap on, I think I may have used this in my autumn altered book last year. I've got a scrap piece here, some wood grain, so loads of things to choose from. I'm going to pop some music on just for this bit and speed it up a little bit. That way I won't keep you for an age while I decide what to do. And then once I've got everything covered, I will be back with you. So I will see you soon. Okay, so I'm kind of decorated here. I decided to use some of my painted papers. I haven't dug those out for a while, so I went with those. I have a full video on how I make my painted papers. I will list that below in the description. And I've kind of had a change of heart, so I've just snipped off the flap here because I want to make this into more of a tall pocket with this that comes over. And my idea is, I've got this acetate here from this leftover sticker book, and I'm thinking of cutting a piece to size like this, where I can wrap the sides round, create a pocket in the front. It will then stick down 3 sides. That will create a pocket here, and then this will lift up and we'll have journaling space here, to write about whatever's in the pocket. That's the idea. So while I think it through and just kind of get my measurements, I'm going to put it on fast forward again, and I will speak to you very soon. Okay, so I've got this bit done. I should have inked around that before doing so, but never mind, not to worry. So I've got that bit done, and I've got a bit measured that can go over here once my flap is stuck down. So I want the flap to come about here like this. So I want to make a score which is more towards this side. So I want it to sit about there. So my score needs to be a little bit about here. So I'm going to get that scored. Let's give this a really good burnish. I'm also going to cut this down because we don't need this much. I'm going to ink around it, and I think I will use the pumice stone again. Now, I didn't intend for this video to be as long as it is, or as long as it's probably going to be. This has become a little bit more involved than what I was planning, but it's nice to just have a sit down and have a bit of a play, to be honest. I haven't done it for a while. Time hasn't really been on my side. So that's going to go there. Oh, and I need to put some writing paper on here. So right, so glue all over this bit. Okay, so this is going on there like that, and that I think is just about where I want it. About there. And because it's so thick, again, I'm going to use a little bit of tape and then some glue. And I'm going to put something heavy on top of this. We'll pop this down on top of it while I get tidied. So finally, this can just go over the top to keep everything nice and stuck down. And this will also prevent anything from catching that's stuck onto the back when we put things into the pocket. And then I'm going to again pop that under this heavy book. While that is drying, I thought I would finish off these pockets. Now I've got these clusters that I made last year, I think. There's a video on these, there's a video on these, and I'm going to use them on the pockets, on front of the pockets like this. They're small enough so that they won't obscure too much of what's being put on the inside. So I found these little tags as well, and I'm going to just pop them on to there. I'm going to pop this one onto there like that, just to give it a bit of stability. And this one, I'm going to have the tag sticking out like that. Again, it's just to add that little bit of interest. And I think I will use, let's have a look what ink. I'm going to try Gathered Twigs. I'm going to take this off because I may put a bit more of a decorative page protector there. So Gathered Twigs on both of these. And I will go around here, just so it looks like one piece together. I'm going to do the same on this one. I'll take the string out for now. Oh, I've done the wrong side. It's got a protector. Well, that's handy. A little bit around here. Let's put our string back in. Just want glue on half of that for the moment. And I wanted this one coming out kind of like that. So if I just put glue from here to that shortest one, I'll be sticking the whole things down in a second. It's just to get it stuck onto the tag. Once that's stuck, I'm going to just take that off. So I also just want to darken the edges with not walnut stain, oh, what is it? Ground espresso, just to define where the cluster ends. And I'm going to stick the whole thing then onto the front of my pocket. I'm using liquid glue to give me some wiggle room time, but I'm going to have a heavy book ready as well. Okay, so I'm going to have it about there. I'm going to wipe away any glue that's seeped out. I'm going to put this under a book. And I'm going to sort the rest of this out. Again, just round the edge on this one with ground espresso in the Distress Oxide, and then glue everywhere. So here are our makes for today. So this is all dry. I've tested it, none of the wax is coming off. That is just so pretty. I love that, and I hope you can see if I tilt it. I'm hoping you'll be able to see the shine on that gold. This one I think is going to go in a winter. It's not really a journal, but it's more like kind of like a very minimal art journal that I have. I don't think I've ever done it on camera, but I think I'm going to pop that one in there. Then we did these two pockets from the photograph album. And then we have our flip pocket here, which I really, really love. I need to do a little bit of inking. I've just popped a bit of washi there, just to cover that crease. And these are really good for, I have quite a lot of these kind of altered project life cards that I did. This was before I had a channel, so I didn't record these, but I can do a video on them. But I have lots of things like that. So something like this is ideal. They fit nicely in there. I can even put a bit of a tie around that. And if I wanted to, now I've popped that paper there, I could even have that as a journal space. Or I could just go ahead and use it as a pocket as I originally intended. So there I have 4 pieces of ephemera out of junk and some free things or very low cost things that we can get our hands on. And I hope that's given you perhaps a little bit of inspiration on some projects that you can do. Thank you so much for joining me. Look after yourselves until next time, and I'll see you then. Bye.